Yeah, so tell me about about your experience here in India.
It's that, well, of course, I mean, in a way,
Except for the heat.
or well, not the heat is not the, but it's kind of humid. I sweat all the time, but
Is there anything interesting like that you've seen out of the way the Indians handle publishing or the way we look at the business here? And is there any takeaways? Because I do look at the ways European houses take in publishing, and
I think that, well, to be honest, I'm absolutely no expert in it, but a big thing that we changed in all because the main place to sell books when I started as a CEO was, of course, through the bookstores. It was always bookstores. The problem is that it's a small fraction of the people that actually go into a bookstore ever. So you have to, and I believe that you have to bring literature or stories to the people. Once you start reading, you're kind of hooked. But there is a little barrier there to kind of come over, because it takes some time. You have to be active. I mean, watching a Netflix movie, you can kind of sit back, relax, and you can, well, you don't have to be that kind of into it all the time, but reading, you have to be into it all the time.
Yeah.
But once you do that, and once you get people to start reading, then they will start reading more difficult literature, but they will also start reading more. So the big thing, I think, in any country or in any space is how do you work so you get the literature where the vast majority of people actually are. And there's very many what do you say, things that you or educate, that where you can see that even though you're not a big reader, you read 2 or 3 books a year, you get a much better vocabulary.
Yeah, and even the understanding of.
You get an understanding, you get a better vocabulary. So there's, I think that if you start reading as a child, and then the latest one I saw, if you're 17, 18, you have kind of a 300% better vocabulary than ones that doesn't read, and that's not kind of these. There are mostly girls reading and reading and reading. You read 2 or 3 books a year. That gives you a lot. And of course, then it's much easier to learn other languages. It's easier to debate or have a discussion. It kind of improves your life. So I think that the most important is not the bookstores are extremely important. The libraries are extremely important. But around that, I think you have to find ways also to kind of reach where the normal or where the ones who wouldn't kind of go into a bookstore are.
The one thing that I found interesting also, you're one of the few people who said digitizing is not it is necessarily not an evil.
Pardon? Once more?
Digitizing your content.
Yeah.
So let it be in terms of ebooks or e-publishing or any type of digital content. This must be hearsay, but it was like digitizing. A lot of people feel a little afraid to get into that. It can be the piracy, or it can be the lack of, as you said, walking into a bookstore. But were you somebody who said that, hey, it's not that much of an evil because this reaches people maybe in a different manner? So what made you think in that way different when a lot of people then were thinking, hey, should we?
Yeah, no, but e-books or the digitalization, it wins when it becomes better than the physical product.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you look at music, for example, you had the CD, which is really crap in a way. It's boring.
Perishable by the end of the day.
Yeah. And then having it in your computer or especially in your phone, whichever one has, it adds value. Movies the same. You can all of a sudden watch a movie wherever. A paper book doesn't really, it's not that no one in Sweden you said, oh, now when you go on vacation, you can have all the books. You can have 1,000 books in your phone. Yeah, I'm away for 1 week in Thailand. I'm not going to read 1,000 books. I'm going to read 2 books, and I can buy those books because it's hard to beat the paper book. I wouldn't be afraid of. I mean, we will do our books in SE as well. I'm not afraid of it. We can definitely do that, but I don't think that it won't beat the physical feeling of reading. What we also know is that reading from a digital device, it doesn't stick as well as when you read from a print. Audio,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's what I was
Audio
getting
books, definitely. In Sweden today, I think that 40% of the total money market is from audio. The good thing with that is everyone was also afraid of that from the beginning, and I said, let's do it, let's push that, because then that was a way of for us, or for all the markets that I know, to actually find new customers. It's easier to jump on an audio book than kind of start reading. So, but then you say, oh, this was a great author. Maybe I'll read it the next time. So then digitalization is I think that you should just kind of try to embrace it. But ebooks, I don't believe will ever kind of take the place of a printed book. You can just see how much money Amazon has put down into Kindle.
Yes.
They started, I think, a couple of years before the iPhone came out.
Yeah, they had the device. So.
They put out a lot of money into ebooks and to Kindle, much more than Apple ever put down into their iPhone. Music, perfect. Audio, perfect. Kindle is almost dead.
Yeah.
Because the customers, the readers, they don't think that, why have this device?
Because an avid reader needs the physical copy, or I think even audiobooks is a good space that way.
And just holding and feeling a book, I think that, I mean, I'm very proud of the ones that we have 3 great titles from Scandinavia, and just the look and feel of a title and holding it, it's a nice feeling.
I completely agree with you. It is a pretty amazing feeling. Very recently did I get into the publishing business as well. So yeah. I completely understand where you're coming from. So thank you so much